Day 2 of vacation. This is the cabin when it has light. And when the beds are messy. Ta-da! So today we're gonna go spelunking in the Mammoth caves.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of life. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. And if the stars were made to worship so light, I can see your heart.
Hello. We are in Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, at Mammoth Cave National Park. We're in the Visitor Center preparing for our Great Onyx Lantern Tour.
Yeah! It's gonna be really, really fun, and we have to go on a bus for this one. So we're gonna be on our way soon, and we're mostly going to take pictures instead of videos for this, so yay!
Don't speak in vain, no syllable empty your voice. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. When as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you said. And if it all reveals your nature so alive, I can see your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky, a canvas of your grace. And if creation still obeys you so alive.
It's been so cool. This has been great. And it feels like we should go home already. But no. But wait, there's more! We have a whole other week. Yay!
Happy Mother's Day, Mama.
Aw, thank you. Oh,
It's been
okay.
what?
It's been amazing
What was your favorite part about this Mother's Day?
being with y'all and sharing this really cool experience together. Isn't it cool?
It's so amazing. Speechless. All right, Savvy, so we're out of the caves. What was your favorite part? You sure asked a lot of questions, so you got a lot of answers, huh?
Probably my favorite part was me getting all excited because the first tour that we got on, he said that there was a mummy. And then when we saw the mummy, we walked past it. But surprise, The mummy was a bat.
Yep, the mummy was a little bat. Savannah is all about the mummies. She likes all the Egyptian stuff.
I love Egypt.
Nefertiti and mummies.
Yes.
And so when the tour guide said there's a mummy inside the cave, she got excited. But the mummy was about the size of my palm, and it was a little bat. Super cute. Looked like it had died just yesterday, but it apparently died like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
About 100 years ago. All right, Daddy. Daddy, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the onyx cave, the stalactites and the stalagmites, and then my other favorite was the sheer size of the rotunda in the Gothic tour.
Those were really.
And what was your favorite part about the caves, Mama?
I loved the stalactites and stalagmites. There was one particular one called the Nativity that I thought was really pretty, and that was really neat. And then there was another one that was the Wedding Arch, and both of those were in the Onyx tour. The Wedding Altar, that's right, not the March. Wedding Altar, and next to it was a stalagmite that looked like a wedding cake. So I thought that was cool too.
I think that my favorite parts of it was the experience of getting to see it in the sparkly, what did they call it, onyx? The gypsum. And the sparkly gypsum that formed into different flowers and goose feathers.
Yeah, that was pretty neat too.
And I really liked looking at some of the stalactites and stalagmites. They looked like they were wedding cakes or made from wax, candle wax, and looked like little castles too. What really amazes me is that scientists don't even know how all of these things are made, which goes to prove just how glorious God's creation is. He made that stuff through science.
And he made that stuff. And scientists still haven't figured out how he did it. But there will be a logical explanation. We just don't know what it is.
And that's beautiful. So this has been such a great, fun, and just beautiful and God glorifying experience for our family. Those caves prove God's glory because, so here's a little story. As we're going through the caves, we saw the gypsum. As we're going through the caves, we saw the sparkly gypsum. And so my little sister, having all of the questions to ask, asked, how is it formed? What makes it do that? And what they essentially said is, gypsum is how rocks sweat. And the rocks push the air and the oils and the gypsum, which creates the gypsum, the sparkly white things that look like flowers sometimes, or just fairy dust stuck to the wall. It creates the gypsum and just pushes it out through the rock's pores. And then my sister asks, so rocks have pores like humans? And the answer was basically a yes. And if you think about it, those rocks are alive. They're living. They may not be living like us, but they're alive. And that proves to say that because the rocks are alive, they will cry out to God's magnificent glory if we don't. And they were just now. They weren't physically crying, but they were showing. They were showing it off. And it's beautiful. And so before we went to the caves, I was being funny. I didn't understand just how serious this was going to be. Before we went to the caves, I said, I'm gonna pick up a rock from the caves, I'm gonna put it in my pocket, and it's gonna be a souvenir. And they were all like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, well, why not? And I didn't really understand the answer until I went in the caves, because they were so beautiful and so delicate that if you touched it, it might break. And there was caves, certain caves with graffiti on the walls from years ago, from the 1800s and 1900s, which sort of took away from the cave. It was a cool piece of history, but it sort of took away from the cave itself. And it made me think, these caves show God's glory, and when people hurt it by graffitiing on it, or taking a rock from the ground, or scraping off the sparkly stuff off the wall, they're hurting God's creation. It's living. It has a purpose. And this is its purpose: to show God's glory through it, so that we might believe, and so that even though it's not on the surface and it can't be seen, it will be heard. So these are my friends, and you're going to be seeing them a lot in this week because we're all in Kentucky together. So say hello. Hello. Okay, bye.
I am the greatest supervillain in the earth, and nobody can stop me.
You know that's fire, right?
Bite your nose off.
Wow.
What is this?
Look at that creation.
It is a duck and a turtle. A sea turtle. Combined together. What? It's a tiger and a dinosaur and a duck. Combined together. This is scary.
This is cute.
So that's scary. Now, after the caves, we've made it to the hotel, and we're staying at the Ashley. It's been a long day. Ashley Hotel? Ashley Quarters? Ashley Quarters.
Ashley Quarries?
Quarters. Ashley Quarters. That's what I said. I think the video's starting to come and conclude itself, so yeah. I guess this is the end of day 2. Say goodbye. Until tomorrow for day 3.
Bye.